National anthem protests have been in the headlines since Colin Kaepernick began kneeling during the preseason. Many other athletes have also chosen to protest during the anthem.
Right.
You spoke a lot about politically and socially charged things.
Right.
Your album, Church in These Streets, was very socially charged.
Right.
And what is your reaction to all of it?
I mean, I think he's absolutely right. You know what I mean? Just because he's an athlete doesn't mean that he has to, live by different standards. He's a human being. So if he feels like, that's how he feels. And by the way, he's got more headlines out of doing that than a lot of us have by protesting and marching. So I feel from where I'm standing, he did exactly what he's supposed to do. Now, he could have lost his job, and, that's how that goes. But at the same time, when you're a human being and you have morals and you have standards, you believe in what you believe in. You can't let the money change you, because if you do, then who are you? So I commend him on it. Hats off to me. He's class act, in my book.
A lot of times, Jeezy, is that people look at athletes, they look at entertainers,
Right.
like, well, you're making all this money.
Mm-hmm.
You don't experience what the common person experiences.
Right.
And Skip and I have discussed this a lot on this show.
Right.
But I'm saying if the only thing you worry about is your well-being and not the well-being of others,
Right.
you're a shallow and naive person.
I mean, that's why we love Muhammad Ali. He stood for us. Sometimes, positions of power, what I'm saying, you got to really, you got to
use it.
Right. To, and not only just for money. So I've watched him play ball, and, I wasn't really a fan of, what he did when he was on the field in the beginning. But after I saw that, as a person, I have a lot of respect for him, because, what I'm saying, at those points, when you make those type of stances, you got a lot to lose. I've done that before. So I got a lot of respect for him, you know what I mean? And I feel like if that's what he feels in the heart, he did the right thing.
But do you, like in the beginning now, when Muhammad Ali first did this,
Right.
a lot of people were not in his corner.
No.
History looks back upon him fondly now.
Right.
So do you think history will look fondly upon
Of
Colin?
course, yeah. And that's the thing with Muhammad Ali is like, when he started making his stance, he did that. But like, after he passed, and that wasn't cool. But after he passed, we really respect him for that. You know what I mean? Because he was a great boxer, but he was a great man. I ran into his daughter actually leaving from out there in the airport, and I just had to tell her, like, your father was a great man. And that wasn't even on the boxing side.
Right.
That was just as a person, you know what I'm saying? So I got a lot of respect for that all day.
Go a little deeper with us.
Uh-oh.
You are
Talk it, Skip.
You're a deep
Talk that talk, Skip.
you're a deep dude.
Mm.
You pride yourself on your lyrics.
Right,
Your first album was a breakthrough album,
right.
and you went from Thug Motivation 101 to really being on the forefront of what is called trap music.
Right.
Give us the definition, your definition of
A
trap
trap?
music. Yeah.
Well, trap to me is what y'all doing right now. You know what I mean? Trapping is, I always looked at it like trap or die is saying, either you're gonna accept what they give you, or you're gonna take some type of chance and live with that responsibility. So you can fail, you can lose, but you can't win if you don't try. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people where I'm from, we just kind of get caught up in, selling for what they give us. If that's a welfare check, if that's a
handout.
Right, if that's a local job that everybody has at a factory and all that. And me, I came from a trailer that wasn't bigger than this room. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing was I was determined to get out of there. And I had to figure that whole thing out. So it's all about navigating. You know what I mean? So trapping is, just, navigating yourself through things, but at the same time being focused and being determined in my book, But I did come from the trap, if that's what you're asking. You know what I'm saying? Did have the burglar bars and the fire pit outside, but, that wasn't it for me. But we all understand, like, when you get in those positions, like, anything can happen. So you can either, lose a lot of time, or you can end up like myself. You can figure out how to navigate it out and do better for yourself and your family, and, put your sister through school and buy your mom a house and those type of things. And that's what it got me. So that's what trap is to me.
So
when you hear that music, that's
trap
what I'm
has
talking
been
about.
called like ominous music,
Right.
darker street music.
Right.
Your lyrics can get rough,
Right.
but there's message there
All the time.
all the time,
All the
which
time.
is getting back to our question about like the
Right.
Kaepernick protests,
right.
the anthem protests. You've been doing it with your lyrics for a long time,
right.
but can you break through with those? Can you drive home the message with your lyrics as well as these athletes can?
I think it's with your actions. You know what I mean? I learned with Church in the Streets that, you can't switch the product up. You know what I mean? I'm a hustler. I got to tell you that, Skip. You know, I sold a couple things, socks, T-shirts, you know,
Yeah.
those types, cleats. You know what I'm talking about? But you can't switch the product up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, when I did Church in the Streets, it's almost like I was talking at people rather than to them. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, I got to do what I do. That's what brings me back to Trap or Die 3. And it's something that I started out, Trap or Die, the first Trap or Die, passing out mixtapes out of my car at clubs, and that's how I got on. You know what I mean? So, which brings me back to Trap or Die 3, and that's why, you know, when I'm talking and I'm saying these things, I'm speaking about, you know, what I'm going through and all these different things, and that's what they buy into. So they don't want to hear you say, oh, you know, the government locked me up, I don't know what I'm gonna do. They want to hear you say, look, man, we're gonna get this money, we're gonna live life, and we're gonna keep pushing, and we're gonna be determined, you know, no matter what we go through. So that's what the Trap or Die 3 about. Now, on the flip side, I can change my message when I sit down and talk to you all, because now they're listening. You know what I'm saying? So now you can actually say, okay, I'm not standing for the national anthem. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not, you know, I'm against police brutality, or I'm against Donald Trump, or I'm against this. You know what I mean? So I can say that now and they listen because they like the music, they like the person you are. It's when you try to change the message, you're changing the product. So now it's just like, I don't know if I want to buy that. You know what I'm saying? Because I can get it from so many different places.